Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Lance and BT dissect the what the fuck moments that make MMA and pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Lance and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
Oops. We're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is the STSpod.club production. I'm BT, and that guy over there, he's from Chicago, Illinois, is the home of the St. Lawrence Vikings. They won their game on Friday against the Hanover Central Wildcats. Yay! Woo! Just to let y'all know, there's no truth to the rumor that they called him Captain Big Mouth Pants in 6th grade. They did not call him that. He's the snark of excellence, my partner in crime, your friend and mine, well, sometimes, Lance Levine, and together we are the hot shots of podcasting.
The hot shots. Not the two tastiest snacks?
Crap. That's right. That's right.
Use that up. So
real quick, if you're watching a video version of this is like a makeshift version. Yeah, and you can see
coconut
Mr.
and the wire.
I said Mr. Hanky. That's not Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Melon.
I feel like Mr. Hanky. Jesus Christ.
Ooh, you smell like Mr. Hanky too.
Yeah, probably do. Yeah. So we got all our equipment installed on a laptop that's absolutely 100 years old and I'm telling everybody this because y'all know how it is when all of a sudden your computer actually updates at the worst time in the world. So, and that's the way Windows does, even though I have it turned off, you bitches. So we're fixing to do WTF, but as always, I like to give some business really quick. We are up over the year 100 and something percent, 136%. I'm excited about, 162%. The top 3 episodes was WTF last month. And number 2 was Wrestling Radio, and number 1 was Wrestling Radio. So I'm excited about that because it's given us a new audience of people. So if you're listening to this because of Wrestling Radio, we appreciate it. Wrestling Radio is only here for 12 episodes. I can't believe the number 1 episode, this is funny to me, was Wrestling Radio, and it was the air date of 1986. Was the original air date of that show, and everyone listened to it.
I wasn't even born. I wasn't even born then. Jesus.
Bullshit. We then did a review show of that episode along with our Mania predictions that day of Mania, which was the second best. But we always have WTF. By the way, I keep grabbing the wrong mouse. Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
All right, man, tell everybody what we're doing. I know it's a packed month, OMG.
You didn't even allow me to say I'm in the Planters Nut Duo Studios.
That's right.
It's the Nut Duo Studios. We got ranch almonds and buffalo cashews. So that is an amazing combination.
Buffalo
that's
cashews.
The studio we're in. Buffalo cashews. I've done
I do like nuts, Lance. You know I do.
I've heard that about you on the weekend.
Especially on the weekend.
On the weekend. That's right. It is the WTF News Desk. For any of you new listeners that are come to us, that this is your first time hearing this, we explore the craziest, weirdest stories, the most bizarre stories in wrestling and MMA once a month because anybody could do a news show. I mean, there's a million of those out there. We go for the weird stuff, most of the time funny, sometimes serious stuff, but most of the time funny. It just bottom line is just totally weird. So, we always start at number 10, right, Brian?
Yes, sir. Number 10.
Number 10 is stipulation matches. So we go around the world. We almost always end up in Japan. Once in a while, we end up.
By the way, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what somebody messaged me.
You're going to ask me?
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you right now. Ooh,
axe away.
Someone asked me, are those matches for real?
100%.
There you go.
Even in April, it was 100%. It was real. So yeah, I have a website that I won't name, but I have a website that I go to that specializes in all of the different matches from around the world. And so I go through them and I try to find, whatever country it's in. I try to find, and it almost always ends up being Japan, but that's fine. The weirdest stuff. And there's usually some stuff in America too. We got one coming up in this one that's in the States. So anyway, they are real, 100% real. So the stipulation, we're starting off this month at number 10, the Rural Revitalization 2, because we had it last month too. So April 17th, it was a New Japan match. It was Uemura beating Great-O-Khan, our friend Great-O-Khan.
Oh, right. Yep.
The King of Pro Wrestling title. So it was a 3-fall, again, with this rural revitalization thing. First fall was stacking Mazda tires in the ring. That was the goal of the first fall. Who could stack the Mazda tires in the ring? Because Mazda was a sponsor of this. So Uemura won the first fall. Second fall was a lemon eating contest, and Great-O-Khan calmly pounding down lemons. I'm like, it's just weird. But, that goes along with this whole concept. And then the third fall was just a tables match, and Uemura won that. So the stipulation for this match was if Great-O-Khan would have won, Uemura would have had to buy him 100 lemons. But in his loss, Great-O had to buy Uemura 20 oysters. So that was the stipulations, the bounty on this match, as it were. So, but then also we have to mention our guy, Paul Walter Hausen. Already, he makes mention again. This guy has been in the WTF a couple of months in a row now. So Paul Walter Hausen, already better than Danhausen. He beats Sami Callihan on April 4th at the Mark Hitchcock Memorial Show in Philadelphia. That was for WrestleMania weekend. It was a street fight, typical street fight. And this guy's an actor. We've talked about this guy before, Golden Globe winner. There's paper cut spots with lemon juice. Pizza cutters are used. Hausen bladed, for crying out loud. There's powder, there's chairs, there's doors, there's staplers used, there's tacks. Hausen was powerbombed through a table. Sandman interferes, and then Hausen wins. So, and then finally, last mention on our stip thing here is Japanese legend Atsushi Onita. Am I saying that right? Atsushi Onita? Okay. So he does his usual, exploding barbed wire-ish match. It was at the Kanagawa Surumi Fruits and Vegetables Market on April 14th. I always just love to mention that place because it's weird.
I do too. I love it.
Vegetable market. So anyway, April 14th does the, typical normal barbed wire explosion type stuff. Afterwards, he says he wants to do an exploding wire match with Dory Funk Jr., who is 83. And Dave Meltzer reports that he is skeptical of this happening. So I'm not sure that it's going to happen. But that is the desire. Onita wants to fight Dory Funk Jr. in an exploding barbed wire match one more time.
That match with Sami Callihan is a perfect example of how I said anyone, even you, could do garbage wrestling. There you go.
Yeah.
So, as always, Japan's always got the weirdest whatsoever matches, and just eating lemons. None of that made any sense.
None of it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got number 9, and you titled this our legal update.
We're in the legal corner, so we have a lot of legal ramifications this month. We have Johnny Ace, we have Rodney Peterson, we have Nyla Rose, and we have Chelsea Green. A lot of legal matters involving these folks. So, of course, John Laurinaitis turns in true wrestling fashion. He turns and he goes from claiming that he too was a victim of the Vince McMahon sexual abuse. He was forced into some shit by Vince. Now he's siding with Vince in Vince's defense in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. He had originally claimed that Vince forced him into the 3 ways with this girl, and now he's saying that nothing happened. And meanwhile, Mrs. Bella still stays married to the schmuck. So just a bizarre turn of events on this one. It's like when you read this, it comes across like a wrestling storyline now. It's getting to be that way. So then we have MMA fighter Rodney Peterson, who literally uses the nickname Not Logan Paul. And Dave and I, Meltzer and I agree that he does look just like Logan Paul.
You and Dave, y'all need to get a room. Guess what y'all need? Good God.
He looks like El Phantasmo too.
He does. He
also
really
looks
does.
in there. So anyway, Rodney Peterson filed suit. Every time I say the name Rodney Peterson, I'm thinking it's that beating case in Los Angeles back in the day with the cops. But that was a different. Wait, what was Rodney? It was something similar to that. Anyway, Rodney Peterson filed suit on April 16th against that hillbilly Nate Diaz for injuries that happened in a brawl in April 2023 in New Orleans. Diaz responds, LOL, simply LOL. That's all he says. So Peterson says he sustained several injuries causing mental anguish and the, quote, loss of consortium with his wife, Bobby. So, we're a full service podcast, so I had to look this up. What is the loss of consortium? What does that even mean? It is the benefits a spouse is entitled to receive from their partner.
Benefits.
Yes, benefits. So he's
Wink.
He's lost the benefits of his wife, Bobby, due to Nate Diaz. So anyway, and I just want to go on record. There is no consortium between you and I. We are partners on the show.
Wink.
There is no,
benefits.
no. There's no winking involved. I know you can't.
Oh,
see
my bad.
There's no winking. We can't see you on camera this time, but there's no winking. Take it from me. So then we got, April 17th. Here's another one. AEW receives a warning from the state of Oklahoma. Anytime we talk about Oklahoma, I have to mention that the governor of Oklahoma is Kevin Stitt, because I always want to say Kevin's what? Whenever I read that, I'm like, Kevin's what? Kevin Stitt. So because there's an old law in the books in Oklahoma that bans transgender women from competing against a woman in any kind of combat, in any kind of sport. So Nyla Rose tweets, she'll find the dastardly trans that, checks notes, entertain the fans. So I want TK to litigate this one. I want to see him in his neck brace. I want to actually see this go to court. I want to see this go, I want to see it fine. So AEW is warned that if Nyla wrestles there again, she will be fined $1,000. There will be 30 days in jail for her, and they're going to fine the AEW altogether. So I say they should just go ahead and do it. Violate the law, film vignettes, and, let's just have it on TV. Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
I hate these old laws
ridiculous.
On the books. It's
so
just stupid. Yeah, just so stupid.
And then finally, we have Chelsea Green. So shout out to Samantha Irvin and our guy Ben Marr, listener Ben Marr. Chelsea Green, however Samantha Irvin says it. She's amazing. So Chelsea Green is kicked out of the Plaza Hotel in New York City because they thought she was an escort. So she was at the hotel bar with a friend of hers. They were going to a Broadway show, and they were kicked out. They were not guests at the hotel, but they were in the hotel bar having a drink. So she complains to management, complains to security. This is like totally life imitating art, because that's her character right now in WWE, is the complaining Karen type character. And the people at the hotel laugh at her. So finally, after a couple of weeks of the controversy, the Plaza Hotel formally apologizes to Chelsea Green, and the charges are all dropped. She was not an escort by any means. So anyway, that is our legal corner. There's a lot of legal stuff at number 9 this week.
God, I love Chelsea Green. I love the hot mess when she was doing the hot mess character. It was fantastic. And I always liked Chelsea because, we talked about her husband and how he goes to bat for himself and her. No matter what, he'll say, fuck you. He doesn't matter who he pisses off. But just so everybody knows, she is not an escort. She is not. Also, real quick, the Oklahoma thing with the law and all that stuff, sometimes athletic commissions treat wrestling as a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are they will make you have blood tests, they'll physicals, you name it. We had to do that in Missouri when I promoted in Missouri. And this is kind of what that's got to do with. If they didn't have an athletic commission, then it would have never been mentioned. Nothing would have been mentioned. But the athletic commission is good in the sense that they could help you if someone got hurt. But then they have stupid rules like this. Just stupid. Totally.
I mean, I could understand maybe in MMA where it's a real combat. You don't want a man beating up a woman.
Yeah, I have my opinion of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different story. But like you said, this is a worked show. This is so archaic, and this just needs to go away. But it stirred up a lot of controversy online. This whole stupid Kevin Stitt, that guy. So, all right, at number 8, we got Meltzer whooped that trick. So on April 17th, Meltzer comments on the NXT champion Trick Williams that he, quote, isn't that good. He's got great charisma, but he's benefited from working with great wrestlers like Ilya Dragunov and some of the other guys that he worked with in
Let me just say real quick, I agree 100% with Dave Meltzer on that.
I agree on that one too. But the IWC, of course, is up in arms. Many of the wrestlers are also up in arms. Dave's right. The guy is okay. The guy has definitely improved. He has something for sure. Dave, I agree. The charisma is there. He can talk already. He's improved greatly since he was just basically a sidekick when he first got there. Is he Will Ospreay? No, he's not fucking Will Ospreay. He's never going to be Will Ospreay, but he's improved. So I just want to say people need to relax with that. Why was so many people up in arms? Like they think that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread or something.
It's got to do with it. And real quick, the Whoop That Trick is from Memphis. They use that at the Grizzly games, and it's a Memphis rapper. He actually has been on Memphis Wrestling, but it is a Memphis thing. But with Trick, then that's what they do, Whoop That Trick. And I think that's part of. I remember at one time with Dave talking about Bryan Danielson with the yes thing, and it just not being able to get away from it. And he could have been. Daniel Bryan could have been a 1-star wrestler and still got over because he had something. And that's kind of what Trick is doing. He's not an excellent wrestler, but it really don't matter. I've learned that a lot in the last few years. It's all about the charisma. It's not the work rate. It's if you can get the fuck over. And he is over. And I think that's what pissed everybody off about it. But let me tell you, I talked to Dave today via email, and I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off on the internet about this. But Dave does not like extra salt on his food.
What?
Yeah, can you believe that?
Oh, my God. I don't know if I can continue the show at this point.
I know extra salt, so I know the Twitterverse will be going, or the Xverse will be going crazy. And by the way, going crazy, let's talk about some, Lance. We got something coming up right now on the screen.
Here we go.
You can explain what it is when we come back. Here we go.
Yep.
The incident report. Nope, that was the wrong one. Here we go. All right. 120
days. That's 4 months. That is 4 months. I'm doing the math in my head. 4 months.
There has not been an incident in my house. Let me say my house.
Wow.
Outside, nowhere. I didn't shit in my pants anywhere yet.
So, pants shitting in the house. So I'm going to say that's probably this year. That pretty much encompasses this whole year so far.
Oh, yeah.
4 months. So outstanding. I'm proud of you, my friend.
All right. Number 7.
Right. Number 7, we have Sabu no shows the Hall of Fame. So our guy, Terry Brunk, I know you like to shoot names. Terry Brunk is inducted into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame on April 7th, and he blows it off. He doesn't even go. So GCW has this Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. So GCW head Brett Lauderdale says that he kept the deposit that he was paid and did not show up. So apparently Sabu was in the building, but he changed his mind, is what the quote was. He changed his mind and decided not to go. So I think we should have him on. We have connections to Terry Brunk. I think we should have him on to tell his side of the story. Lauderdale says no hard feelings. So I'm thinking, I just have a wacky theory. I think maybe, we used to always hear the stories about Sabu would get an injury and he would tape himself back up with crazy glue. During the match, he would crazy glue a wound so he could keep going. So I think maybe he had an incident in his hotel room with the crazy glue and he couldn't leave the room. Well, not that kind of incident. He had an accident with the crazy glue. Physically couldn't leave the hotel room. That's what I'm going to go with. I think that's my theory until we find out otherwise.
I thought it was, Lauderdale was real easy about this. So
Yeah.
I wonder, if he gave him his money back or he said, I'll sign a bunch of pictures or something. But, a lot of the guys would have went to Twitter or whatever and just beat the shit out of Sabu, talking about how sorry he was and everything. But he didn't do that. So thumbs up to him for doing that. There was a reason, and maybe everyone else knew about the reason except for us.
He changed his mind. That was the reason.
There you go.
Yeah, that's officially the reason. So, all right, at number 6, Darby Allin hits a bus. So on April 30th, on a radio show in Seattle, our guy Darby Allin reveals that he saved a man's life in New York City when a bus was heading towards them, and he pushed the guy out of the way and took the bump, breaking his nose. So he was with punk artist Raymond Pettibon. They were also going to a Broadway show. There's no word if they were with Chelsea Green and her friend, but they were going to a Broadway. What is with the wrestlers and the Broadway show in this month?
I don't know.
So anyway, so they were the Darby and Pettibon were going to a Broadway show. They see a bus coming towards them. Pettibon, who is apparently not a healthy guy, Darby pushes him out of the way so that he doesn't get hit. And Darby gets hit by an 8-mile-an-hour bus, and the bus window hits him in the nose. So I can't figure out the physics of this. I would need to see like a Zapruder film of this. Because how did he break his nose and nothing else happened? Like if it hits you in the face, in the head, whatever, there's got to be some other kind of damage to you, I would think. So I think this is fate telling Darby. This is another incident of fate telling Darby, do not climb Mount Everest, sir. This is not in your best interest to climb Mount Everest. So.
This guy, part of me wants, that sounds like part of me make up a story. You come home late at night and you don't want your wife to know. Well, I saved a guy's life and the bus hit me in the nose.
Right. The bus hit me in the nose. That's it. Only in the nose. I didn't get any other injuries, no broken arm or leg or anything. Just hit me in the nose.
I really saw that picture and I just kept shaking my head. I was like, you fucking idiot. You're going to die before you even get back to wrestling. So there we go. All right, guys, we're stopping right now on the video feed. If you're watching on YouTube, you're watching Facebook.
Watching me on the video feed.
The stream. We stop here on the stream. When we come back, we do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're listening to it here on video, you can listen to it on the main feed. You can listen to the audio. That's stspod.club. We're going to commercial break, and when we come back from commercial break, all the Patreon people will get to hear our sponsor for the month for Patreon.